Hello.
Hello, welcome to Vibe
Hey,
Osmosis. How is everybody doing?
pretty good.
Good. How are you?
No complaints, I guess. I want to get straight on down to it. Everybody introduce themselves the best way they like to.
I'm Fran, and I play guitar and I sing in Bomb Bunny.
I'm Isaac. I'm the bassist.
I'm Kira, and I'm the drummer.
Favorite color?
Favorite color?
Ooh,
Mm,
gotta go with a. Lately, been a magenta
magenta.
type mood.
I go with pink. A loveless pink.
Ooh, okay.
I want to say red.
Yeah, they all go together.
Yeah.
Nothing beats the forest green though.
Ooh, that's a
Gotta
good one.
say.
Yeah, I like forest green. Forest green sucks. Fuck.
What?
Ooh.
Favorite movie?
Oh, Donnie Darko, obviously.
Obviously.
Yeah, I love Donnie Darko.
That's a good one.
The existentialism,
I think mine's
just
20th,
so good.
20th Century Women is mine.
I've
Um,
seen all of them. They're all pretty damn good movies.
Ooh.
Continue.
I know what mine is.
We're missing one.
Trying to think of what my first one is.
Damn. Yeah, you gotta narrow it down.
Because my second favorite's Little Miss Sunshine, but my first favorite, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Wow, Sunshine movies, great. Have you ever heard of the
Yep.
movie Blue Sunshine? It's about acid.
No,
Have you ever taken acid?
nope.
Would you? Oh, that would be a throwing curveball questions. All right. Oh, astrological signs, everybody.
Oh, I'm a Capricorn.
I'm a Libra.
Scorpio.
We mesh so well now.
How long have you guys been making music together?
Since I'd say last December or November-ish.
I think it was November-ish, yeah.
But we've all been like, I don't know, me and Isaac were in like high school orchestra together like way before that, and
Yeah.
I've been writing a long time before that.
Yeah, you'd mainly been writing, and then I just kind of started playing with you, and then just picked up after that. Yeah, but
we started being like a band in like December, like last year.
yeah.
Do you guys still like? I mean, I love the record. I listened to it multiple times now. You have a favorite track off it?
Mine personally is Beer Can Roses, just because I like how empty it is.
I like the highs and lows of that one a lot too.
Yeah.
I'd probably say Taste Like Crazy, just because I like the structure, and I like my bass line a lot on that one.
Yeah, I really like my drum parts on Taste Like Crazy a lot. That's one of
Yeah.
my favorite as well.
But yeah,
I want to go
Cornhead on
back.
Spotify sounds good.
I want to go back to the astrological thing. Do you all feel like you connect with your astrological signs? Is it something you follow?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah,
100% from
Yeah.
for sure.
Yes,
too.
I very much relate to mine.
I've
Does it
always
feel
been
like-
friends with.
Does it feel like it clashes with the band any?
Yes, a lot of the time. Yeah, me and Kira get into many fights about the band.
Literally, and I've always been friends with Scorpios, so I'm somewhat of like I just try and mediate a lot of the time, but
Yeah,
just
yeah. It's
having,
usually me and Kira fighting and Isaac mediating.
yeah,
Sometimes me and Isaac fight. occasionally.
yeah. But you got that indecisive Libra in you, so yeah.
I'm a Scorpio myself, so I can relate to some of the damage control.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You've only been playing a few shows. Are you guys like new to kind of like doing the thing? Are you interested in doing more shows?
I feel like we play fairly like maybe twice a month usually.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're interested in doing a lot more shows. I want to play every single weekend.
Well, playing like every single weekend in February too.
Every
like-
weekend's cool vibe. I get that.
I just
that
wanna-
Cleveland show.
Yeah, honestly, I want to play as like much as possible on my end, just because I love
Yeah.
playing. Like, I like the energy of like other people. I like watching the other bands and then getting to get up there and like do it ourselves. It's just really fun.
It's fun seeing like how shows like combine a few different bands to make a really cool experience as a whole. Like a lot of the people that we play with, I feel like can like contrast and like add a lot in their own ways, and I feel like that's a really nice aspect of it that I enjoy.
Yeah, DIY shows are also the best. It's the best experience I've ever had with shows as well.
For sure.
Yeah, the people are great.
I think I could do it every single day, maybe 5 days a week, and have give yourself 2 times to like enjoy the hangover or whatever, or maybe like the high from like playing at so many places and that kind of stuff too. Are you guys ever interested in doing a tour?
Oh yeah, for sure.
That'd be really cool. Yeah,
we would love to do that. I want to go as many places as we can.
I suggest DIY style. Just get in the van, do some traveling, get on out there, spread your name, spread the word.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There was this band that came into Blind Rage once that was really helpful about that. Also recommended the DIY venues.
Painted Dreams.
Yeah, they're so cool. Or I think it's Painting.
Shout out Blind Rage. Shout out Blind Rage. Let's go into Blind Rage support on local artists, new artists, and artists from all over. Coming around. Talk a little bit about your own experience with Blind Rage, how you came across it, how it impacted you today.
Well, I actually started working there last year, just a year ago, and I've come across so many different artists and stuff. And Fran also started working there shortly after me.
Because you got me a job.
Yeah,
you basically got me a job there.
Yeah, I got Fran a job there, and we started we talked to Gwen a lot, and Gwen always offers a space for local artists and people who are touring all the time. And it's a good space in Dayton if people don't know about it. And
Gwen's been just really super helpful as someone with a lot of experience along the way.
She even put our EP out on cassette.
Yeah.
I did not know this. I will totally check out you guys on cassette. I love tape. I got tape. I love tape.
Oh shit.
We're waiting for him to come in.
Oh, okay. Word. Yeah, I will. Can I maybe reserve one then?
Yeah. Sure.
One aside.
All right. Now I will throw in some more questions out there. That obviously this might be your only project together, but have you have any demos, any side recordings?
I do. I just never released any of them because I've been kind of making music since I was 15, and I just I'm kind of a perfectionist, and when I write, I have a million demos on my computer, but I just never really put them anywhere.
You're so good. You should put some out there.
Maybe one day.
We've got a bunch of songs that we have
40 years.
The idea of, and then just don't have the energy to perfectionist it and make it good enough to perform. So I feel every practice we come in with a new idea.
Yeah, we kind of write we write a song before every show that we play. We'll just last minute, we'll do a last minute practice, and we're let's write a song, and then we spend the entire practice just writing a song instead of.
And then we play it. We'll have a day of playing one song, and then we'll go to the show the next day playing that song. That
Makes things very intense.
Yeah.
Sounds kind of funny, but works out. But
I just get bored with our set, so I'm let's change the entire thing and rewrite every single song.
Yeah.
Yeah, how do you feel about the home recording demo stuff, the other artists out there that kind of pioneered that for us?
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
I think it's super cool. I mean,
I'm a big fan.
That's how you start.
Too. There was I did an interview recently with Gary Wilson, who was multi instrumentalist, but his tip was show and work with what you got. And I feel even today, that message instilled something for me of okay, even if you feel it's shitty equipment or whatever, it's what I got, and sometimes that's good enough, or always know that you're good enough. I feel in this record, there's a lot of different messages, not just the lyrics. The lyrics are really, really really constructed, but in the sounds, and the different like progressions. What's your guys' like favorite part about making a song?
Um,
I think just like kind of just having like an idea that's kind of weird, and then just seeing where it goes. Like,
yeah,
like
and I always start off I just like write something random with my guitar, and then I'll like take my mic and like sing some random words over it, and just like try to like fit a bunch of stuff together, and just keep like layering multiple tracks over multiple tracks, and like just see how many tracks I can lay down, and then it just like it becomes something else eventually, and then like later I'll get Isaac involved, and either like me and Isaac will write the bass part together, or Isaac will write it on their own, or whatever they do. But like I don't know, that's usually how it comes.
Yeah. And sometimes there's songs like Porn Hat where it's just like stories that kind of come together.
Yeah, Porn Hat was kind of just like a joke song that we made up like
Yeah.
in my basement, and then
like, complaining about customer service work.
yeah, and also like, just like being a woman,
Yeah.
Customer service one is definitely a drag. And I feel like it's something that's with every artist. If you haven't heard from like Kid Cudi's story, Kanye West, like I feel like they always kind of shout out some of the really funny odd jobs, like simple like working at McDonald's and then finally like finding like your way to supporting yourself with doing your art at the same time, and also kind of like living in the real world. Would you have any good advice for people in the retail industry that are also making music?
I don't know.
I think just
I don't know.
It is tough.
I feel like maybe because like as we all work in like the retail business, the scheduling of like stuff together is probably one of the hardest things for us.
Yeah.
Figuring it out, and like I mean, I live on my own, so like paying rent is kind of like always priority too when I think of shows and scheduling that. But I mean, just
take the show.
Finding the time, and don't add pressure.
I would say take the show. No matter what, try and take the show. If you have to work till 5 and you got a show at 6, take the show anyways.
Yeah, I mean,
that's kind of how I feel about it.
If you regret it, you regret it. But like, you can't say you didn't try and play.
You can never like you can never get that same show back if you like turn down a show. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Each show is an opportunity in itself. Improving your live sound and getting the opportunity. I feel like there's like something therapeutic for me every time I get to actually like, hear myself live and really get out the ideas, rather than like you can always get stuck in the headphones working on tracks, and I think that's also where you kind of get nitpicky because of like it's maybe like not the real way of how it would be going down.
Right.
Yeah.
And you guys recorded in the studio. You guys want to talk a little bit about your process in the studio?
Yeah. So we kind of decided to go to the studio because of the perfectionism thing, and we recorded with this guy Jay who's in Oquandor, and we basically got in there and we played the songs that we had been playing live, and we like laid down those tracks, and then like I went back in and like did my second guitar parts and like my vocals and then like my extra vocal stuff, and like added all the little effects in there, and like I don't know, me and Jay tried to like get everything like as close as possible as to what it was the demos on my computer. But it has like more of a energetic sound than it would have if I had just like done like MIDI drums on my computer with just me.
Yeah, I feel like having the live recording too is definitely adds like an aspect of just like rawness to it.
Yeah, you can hear like the hum of my amp and I don't know, Isaac's like bass feedback and all that stuff that wouldn't be on there just through like
if you were
my
just
computer.
doing it, making it at home, trying to be quiet per se. That's the
Right.
that's a better way of framing it. It's like if you're making it in your apartment, you can't be too loud. There's like a lot of restrictions there, and then
Right.
and then like other than like if you're recording it at your house, like I feel like that's whenever you call like that home recording like a little bit closer to what the studio might sound like, other than like your own little like weird tweaks and stuff, or like less you know what I mean, like to the bone. I feel like there is really particular stuff at working in the studio, like getting to actually be as loud as possible and like still like I don't know use different instruments than maybe you might be doing like in your quiet home setting for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
And this record, you have like different messages and themes in your album. You want to kind of dive into where some of like the lyrics and stuff have come from.
You have so much fun talking about your lyrics.
This is something that I usually don't talk about. I mean, like Porn Hat, as we were talking about, kind of me and Kira, we have a lot of experiences with creepy men in our lives.
Yeah.
And so that whole song's literally just about like a bunch of different like creepy dudes that like we know and like
Yeah, and they're just like short stories that you can
yeah, we kind of put together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm definitely
like
one of the crazy ones. I'm not gonna lie to you. Welcome to Vibe Osmosis.
And then I don't know, the other songs are they're kind of more personal, but yeah. About me and my life and my feelings. I don't know.
I like the incorporations, and with tying that I guess that realness with the music, and then like the fact that like the instruments and the progressions, the chords, and like the beat, really make a difference. I really do appreciate the different sounds with like the bass and the drums that really help bring the vocals to different lighting. I want to say lighting because like you're able to hit different tones and pitches, but also like tell different parts of like I guess there is stories and there is like melody, and I kind of wondered like where did some of that madness come from. I feel like there's a lot of band influences, but I also don't like project too much into that.
Are you asking about like our influences?
If you have any influences, sure, shout them out.
For me, I love everybody. Yeah, you guys can go.
Gotta love some Gang of Four and Unwound personally. Those have been two big influences for me this year. And Bauhaus too. For me, yeah, just in general. What about you?
I would say a lot of my influences, just in general. I've been listening to a lot of Bikini Kill and Bratmobile lately, and feeling just like the rage of being a woman, like what you have to feel on a daily basis and like go through. Like that's like I kind of like try to like put that into my drums a little bit. And I used to be in a punk band a while ago, and I would like to start another punk band eventually. But I really want to put that energy into the drums with Don Bunny
and stuff.
I wouldn't say it's not necessarily just about being like a woman or a girl. I feel like there's a lot of like punk messages behind some of what Bikini Kill for reference like brings into play, especially like lyrically. I definitely appreciate that because like I felt there was some of these bands that just kind of like, oh yeah, I can totally see some of that in there, but that's also like you gotta get that niche for every band. I feel like, and this particular album, it definitely speaks for itself. It's like has its own unprecedented tendency in that, and I just kind of wondered like if there was like an instrument that was like, okay, we started working with this instrument and that was like what started the track, or that's what influenced me to do this. You want to break down a little bit of your gear and what you did for the record, everybody.
Well, I mean, you got that fancy guitar and that Kalamazoo.
Yeah, my Kalamazoo has all my shit is broken, so it has a very broken sound on the record. My amp is completely broken, so it sounds like a vacuum cleaner when you turn it on. All my pedal board is made by my dad with all these like wires that you just like tape together. So that sounds kind of broken, but the whole thing has like a hum to it. So I don't know. That's how my guitar sounds, like all like, I don't know. I feel like it kind of sounds like tinny and like higher end, which is like what I like because I don't know. I really like Big Black. I'm really inspired by like Steve Albini stuff, like Slant and Big Black and stuff, and how like in that like all of that music, it has like really high end guitar in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think personally having a lot more of like a gritty like bass sound for me is really nice. Like when I was thinking about like Gang of Four earlier, just some of like the driving like weird kind of lines that are in there are really cool to me, and a lot of the time signatures are really kind of out there. But like, yeah, there would be some songs or like just like a new song every now and again where I'll have a bass line for you and then we'll just make a song out of it.
Yeah, when me and Isaac write together, we kind of just like sit down and either one of us has like an idea and we kind of just like start playing until something happens. Or
yeah,
I don't know.
A lot of the time it like clicks, and then sometimes there's like
sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it does.
But, you know, there are different ideas.
I've had this really interesting idea for like an open mic or something where I would just bring like an old vacuum I got like at a Goodwill, and I would just bring it up on stage and just turn it on and like mic it up with like the mic like onto the sucker. And just turn that on and just have that on for the entire, like, maybe, like, the entire 30 minutes, that anything, like, the entire set.
Dude, just borrow my amp. Just borrow my fucking amp. That's literally what it sounds like. I'm telling you. Like, literally, come borrow my amp. Right.
Yeah.
You guys,
like
are you guys
a lot of
fans? Are you guys fans of jamming?
I mean, honestly, we kind of do.
We do.
Me and Isaac are actually jam haters, but we don't jam.
We're like
Sometimes. Well,
I feel like there's a certain level of anxiety for us jamming.
Yeah, we get
weird.
Me and Isaac, if we're not like, because me and Isaac have known each other for so long that it's like it doesn't really matter with us. We're very comfortable with each other.
Yeah.
But like with other people, we get a little like scared.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's not that we don't want to. It's just like the way we do it is we do it for like a very long period of time, and it might sound like shit, and it might not, and like.
And then just including another person's perception of all that is kind of weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we have to get into like a certain mood where we're feeling really like I don't know. We just get
think about this. Think about this, okay? Like, and actors and musicians, like you have to like audition so many times. Like in my own experience, like I've auditioned for so many different bands throughout like my life. You kind of get in the use of like putting yourself into like an awkward situation where you have to like still like jam with new people. But like whenever you get to like do it back at home and like bring in the people that like you're more comfortable with, it makes like playing music a lot easier or a lot like stressful, more of like a enjoyable time. Or even if it's like bro, those lyrics or that sound that you made was hilariously bad, but also love it.
Yeah.
Having that level of confidence before you go into it, I guess, makes sense.
I mean, me and Isaac kind of just like make really shitty noises, and Isaac will make up a bass line, and I'll be like, make it way more minor, and then it sounds like shit, and that's what we like.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing wrong with a little, I like to say it's like kind of grunge, a little into it, but I feel like that's kind of like what happened. Like, and this newer generation of music that's happening is like mixing electronic aspects of like what we do, like using the computer for MIDI or whatever, but incorporating it with like a live situation. How do you feel about backtracks whenever you go to like a show that you're a big, like you went out to like the Garden show, right? And like see how like they like use backtracks and stuff. Just for example, like, how you feel about that?
It's cool seeing that implemented in a way that you can like do that. I feel like we don't have a lot of experience backtracking things or like adding that electronic element to it. I love a lot of electronic music, and I'm like like really big fans.
That's like your thing.
Oh yeah.
Like that's Isaac's big.
Yeah, I mean,
the
I get
incorporations of like samples, like whenever you're getting like in the beginning of like the show, and you're like getting to hear like a little bit of like what the artist like wants you to hear like right before, I love that kind of stuff.
Like when Brainiac uses like
Brainiac for sure.
Like a bird record for like such a pretty bird for fucking with the altimeter, like something like that just like is really interesting and super cool to see incorporated, right? Like I feel like we could venture into that more and like figure that out, and I love seeing it done right. I just think we just got to get to that point.
Yeah. I don't know
if you want to get there to that point, because
I don't know. I never really thought about it, honestly. I mean, it's just kind of not like my current way that I write, but maybe someday, or I don't know, when we write something else, that just seems like maybe, I don't know. We love Brainiac, and Brainiac does do some stuff like that.
They do a lot of like, yeah. And I mean, like,
and progressively they do that more, like in their later albums.
The Garden, like live, is just them. It's just the brothers playing.
It's just the brothers playing, and then like incorporating, I guess, like what is branded and like what we know.
All of the weirdo sound effects, like the
it's cool.
Yeah, there's some other bands like I feel like are worth mentioning. That also use like MIDI kind of like pickups and different little stuff here and there that I feel like do it to the pleasers, the crowd pleasers or something. But I also think like it gets to a certain level of like what kind of, whenever you're working with like a 3-piece, 4-piece band, it is definitely primal for like the first like 10 years to just be like a good live band. And I totally see that coming out of this record, and hearing my friends talk about the shows I've missed out on, the ones I was really close to coming out to the last Blind Rage record, but I had my duties.
Yeah, I mean, what did Nick Eddy say?
What?
Nick Eddy was always like, I always think I'm wanting more, or something like that.
I don't know.
Definitely, always like one more song too. Free Bird.
Yep.
Free Bird.
Yeah.
We totally heard this. I heard this like really funny story of this guy out in actually this Dayton area who went out to the Guitar Center and they played Freebird after they said that you weren't allowed to play Freebird, and they kicked them out.
They said you weren't allowed to play Freebird? Why?
Like just one of those, like, just, they were like, bro, do not play that song today. I don't know, yeah.
No more Freebird. No more Freebird.
No more. Don't be coming in here and jamming that song,
Cage
bro.
that bird. Somebody put that bird in a cage.
Do you have any fears working together as a band?
I
Go ahead.
I don't know. I sometimes feel like I'm not very good enough or to be in this band. Sometimes I don't know. Like I don't know. Like it's just like
You are, dude.
I don't know. Like I feel like I don't know, and I'm scared of shows mostly.
You just get scared about shows.
We book like a show like the day, like in one day, like last minute shows a lot of the time, and that kind of causes some fears, some anxiety for sure.
I think also we all have different levels.
Engagement with people, incorporating with your music is very, very raw, vulnerable, and how you take that, I feel like there's always a little anxiety there. And also, I guess like the way that it translates in the music really helps people,
Yeah,
for sure.
I feel like we all have different levels of wanting to play too, because like I don't really need that much time to recharge in between playing times. Like I just want to keep like hammering at it. Like I could sit for days at my computer and record, and I could like do a show, and then like I don't know. I'm very like I get very like focused and like almost like obsessive about my music stuff. So I get very like one track mind. Like I have to be doing music, and I think like I'm just not as low key as like other people are So I think our different levels of like. I feel like
have
you're in the
that.
middle.
I'm in the middle. I feel like I have that intermediateness of like I do need to recharge a bit more, but I also get really avoidant sometimes when it comes to that stuff. So I'm just like, forget about it. I got a show, whatever. And then you on the other end of the spectrum.
I'm like, really? We got like, I don't know.
You're like, oh,
I think it's kind of
weekend in February.
Isn't that kind of like a drummer thing though? I think a lot of drummers are like about things.
Yeah, it is true.
I don't
That's what
know.
I've heard.
My friends that are drummers are complete perfectionists and like hands-on about and like super democratic about the songs too. So it's just like a best of both worlds. Like, oh, we can't put that out yet because you want to redo the drums.
Right.
That's cool to have, yeah.
I want to. All right, yeah. Do you have like any random facts about yourselves?
Random fact.
Random facts.
Give a random fact.
Oh my god.
Random fact.
Tyler Trent from Brainiac comes to my coffee shop and I make him his latte every weekend.
Yeah.
Latte.
Yeah.
I draw little guys everywhere. If you ever see a little guy, it's my drawing.
Oh yeah.
They're
Any
like
little guy.
They're like little aliens.
Yeah, little guys.
And I draw them everywhere.
Can't miss them.
Front Street Art Place, you did it there?
No, no, I didn't put him there, but like
Ghost
there's tons of ghost lights. Well, I'm a barista there,
I will,
so
yeah.
I will keep a peek out. I take dives in that.
Yeah. Oh, the EPs for Trolls and Shithead.
oh yeah. Oh, there's a little doll that we got from Antique Village, and me and my boyfriend Charlie, who fun fact, Charlie plays on Beer Can Roses. He's the one who drums on that song. But we like took this doll and we like destroyed it and like rubbed its head against the cement and burned its hair off and rubbed its eyebrows off.
It's on the EP cover.
Yeah, it's on the EP cover.
I wrote shithead on it.
Yeah, Kira wrote the shithead
It's got
part.
a knife in its head.
And-
It's looking real pretty.
Yeah, poor shithead is like dedicated to him.
Shithead, exactly then.
It's
It's the doll.
It's the
Doll
doll.
is the shithead.
It's the shithead.
He's shithead. That's the doll. He deserves to die.
Is it
We made
actually
him die.
magic? Is it actually magical?
Yeah,
He's very magical.
Oh, he's got.
That's why we had to
properties.
destroy him.
Yeah, it
We'll
needed
throw
to.
it behind you with a knife and have a funny catch line like, "Kiss my butt and call me Johnny."
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, whatever you
Can't
want him
trust
to be,
shithead.
really. He's an
He's
example
trying to
of-
always get shit on your head.
Shit on your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's whatever you want him to be. He is God.
Have you?
He can be anything.
He's
So
omnipresent. He is all around us at all times.
give him
Shithead,
everything or give him nothing.
Shithead is
watching
watching,
over us.
but he at the same time is
Yeah.
able to see.
How
Anything
old is everybody? I gotta ask because I gotta bring out a reference.
Listen, it's my birthday.
Yeah, it's your
I'm
birthday.
20. I'm 21 today.
Okay. Happy
Me
birthday.
and Kira are 20.
All right. Do you recall Andy Milonakis?
Who?
Andy Milonakis.
No.
No.
All right. You see, I'm 26, and I feel like Andy Milonakis is a little bit past your time. But this guy, he was hilarious, but he was like a grown man that looked like a kid, but also really short. He had a theme song. Don't call me a bee, but I got bees on my head or something like that. It's hilarious. And it just makes me think about Shithead. He's like, don't call me Shithead, but I got shit on my head.
He's his son. He's his son.
Spiritual successor,
Yeah,
maybe.
could have been Andy Milonakis. Yeah, I was thinking that. I was just like, wait, no way. Just if you happen to know about Andy Milonakis, he had a great TV show on MTV, and then it got canceled because the guy was like out of this world. He was hilariously bad.
Oh God. So sometimes
They just didn't want to see him win.
Yeah, they just wanted to keep my
They
man
didn't
down.
want to see him win.
Andy down.
Do you happen to have any current projects lined up? Any shows or anything?
We're always working on stuff. I mean, we're always
We
making new stuff.
wrote a new song like,
The other day.
and we've been playing it at shows. So
I always record stuff on my computer. There's always new stuff. I just don't like to release things. So
Yeah.
We'll see when the next thing is.
the EP was a big step because it
That
was
was a big
finally a push for us to like actually be like put the perfectionism in its place and like get it out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're always working on stuff.
And is it Kyra, you have a lot of this material, or is it Fran that has a lot of this material? Kira. So you've been recording music for how long?
What did you say? Oh, I've been recording music since I was 15 years old.
Since 15. And what was your like first DAW?
What was my first what?
Like DAW system. Your DAW?
Like DAW?
Yeah, like your first DAW. Like, or what was your like like your digital record? Like what was your first like recording thing? Like do you get a computer, laptop? You get a program?
Yeah, it's on my dad's. I've been using my dad's computer for the past like his computer from work. That's like a couple of years now. And I have Logic Pro on there. Just sit in my room on the floor and like use my guitar and my mic.
The cables.
I love Logic. I'm like a big I've mixed up my DAW systems for a long time. I've gone from like Fruity Loops to Ableton Live.
I don't like Ableton.
The new Ableton update was great, and also really weird. And then like I did like Mixcraft, and I had like the Sapphire audio, so I started to use like the different kind of like software they give you for that for like mixing. And with like Logic, you get the best of both worlds of like programming in your drums or like making samples or getting the straight audio. What would you say is like your favorite thing about working with Logic?
I mean, to be honest, I'm not really that technologically proficient. Like my boyfriend used to use, like when we were like 14, 15, he used Ableton and I could just never figure it out. It's just like, and then like Logic just seems really easy. I went to an art school that had a recording studio class, and that's the program they used in there. And my teacher, Mr. King, taught me how to use Logic, and so that's just what I've been using because it's easy.
The UI for it is pretty accessible, I feel like.
Yeah, it's got a bunch of different plugins that I love. I've loved all like the shoegazy, spacey effects on there.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the like little add-in modulations on the audio effects.
Yeah.
And like I feel like there's a lot of the big dive with like whenever you're messing like with the guitar tones. Like I'm half and half with the guitar, with like the guitar being directly in. Like I've always preferred it being like the Sapphire picking up like the actual amp sound. But also doing the DI is like you're getting to find out like what kind of amp tones, where you want the mic placements, and like how you're wanting it panned out and affected. That's kind of like a big thing I feel like for my own music. Did it feel really nice to have somebody else take control of recording and doing the process for you with this record?
I mean, yes and no, because like for me, like I like to be alone in my room doing it just because I have complete control over everything.
Right.
Like I can do whatever I want. I can delete whatever I want. I can do as many vocal takes as I want and not feel bad.
As hands-on.
I'll do like 50 vocal takes in my room, like just to get it perfect. But like recording with Jay, it kind of forced us to be less perfectionist, like because I don't want to make Jay sit there and like I mean, we did it a lot.
Even
like
though he is like the chillest.
Jay is amazing. Like he's super chill. He just like let us. He doesn't give a shit. Like he's let us do whatever. But like I just felt bad. I didn't want to like make him sit there and like listen to us do it. Like listen to me do like 80 vocal takes. So I just kind of did the vocal takes and like I think I did them like maybe over twice or 3 times. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't do them that much. Like
I'm a fan of only the first take is the best take and don't go any further. That's my best advice. So go in balls to the wall, and if you mess up, then I guess you have to retake it.
Because once you start going, it starts to get progressively worse. We've all learned that.
Porn hat. Recording porn hat.
We recorded porn hat like 80 times.
Getting the pockets, I guess, is really important in the studio. That's definitely something that goes hand in hand for artists that are really trying to get that more defined live sound. Also, I wondered in this next track, is it kind of something esque to this new record that came out, or do you feel like it is something that follows up with like another record or EP or drop or single?
I mean, probably most likely it'll be something like it's gonna go with the same like sounds, just because like how like I think part of it is just like how all of us fit together. Like
Yeah.
Isaac does like some weird shit with his bass, and I have my pedal boards real specific, and Kira's drums are just real specific. So I feel like our sound will be similar to whatever we do next or the things that we're working on now.
Yeah.
It'll just be like, my goal is to just do like I always want to make like music that sounds darker and more minor and darker.
I feel like if we're gonna go in any direction of one song, I feel like Beer Can Roses is like
That's where I want to go.
kind of where we want to go.
That totally sits right. I feel like in all of like, did that song happen in the order too, or is that song one of the ones that formed and that came like later and you positioned the tracks to kind of fit the album?
That song was the last song we recorded. We wrote it in 2 days with my boyfriend Charlie, and
last song
I didn't even
always,
think it was
I feel
going to
like
be on it.
comes in as number 3 or number 2 for me.
What'd you say?
The last track that I record always definitely comes in as
Angel
2 or 3. And
yeah, I haven't heard anybody say anything about that one.
I've actually seen a lot of people post about Angel Ones.
Oh, really?
I've just seen when people post
that
their
one was more of like a demo that I kind of worked on by myself.
This record alone is cohesive, and it's something that is, I guess, like undeniably part of like the culture, the scene, and stuff that you guys are living in. That like translates well with like the music and especially like the messages. But this next kind of project that you're interested in doing, or like you're working on recording songs or you're developing stuff, is there like any kind of like message that you're trying to give out, or you're just trying to find what fits the vibe every time?
I mean, the last one was for Shithead and Trolls. Who's going to be for next?
My snail beanie baby, maybe.
Yeah, maybe that, or maybe my Squishmallows.
I always like to.
Yeah.
I always like to joke that like Spirit Navigators is like a dedication to the broken-hearted aliens, just because I feel like a lot of the music, whenever people hear, is like kind of sounds spacey, weird alien video game or something,
yeah.
Whenever people
you gotta have music dedicated to aliens.
I am a fan of I'm a fan of that because like space is very obscure and not like poor people go to space. Do you guys believe in space?
Do we believe in space?
You gotta believe in space. Have you heard our record? It's up in space. It's up in space. All the sounds are up in the space.
I'm a lover of Neil deGrasse Tyson, man.
I like to think that now that the space, just like flat earthers, now that the space is just above us and we see this, doesn't always mean that it's real or that we live in space.
Yeah.
I'm now skeptical because I'm like, where is the proof? I don't know if I've seen any of it.
We need to go into a black hole. Really, we need to.
That's something we all need to experience.
We need to all go to a different space time through a black hole and experience a whole different.
Do you have a great memory? Do you have a great memory all of you can share?
Of anything or the band?
Everything.
Oh, I feel like getting canes. Just after
we always
shows.
get canes after shows. Every show we get canes after.
Canes is the sluttiest fucking food, and we always
good. We slurp it up.
I feel fucking ran through after canes.
Yeah.
It's fucking.
I feel like that's a pretty. The feeling of after shows, you're just tired.
None of you guys believe in not slaughtering chicken or cows or anything?
I mean, Kira's a vegetarian.
But I just don't like the taste of meat.
I agree. Cows, but I don't know.
I agree with being as conscientious as you can about it, but I don't have a lot of money.
We're not like
I don't know how to cook that much.
We're not on the Morrissey level,
Have you tried the orange chicken from what is it?
Panda Express?
Yeah, Panda Express. Would it be
No.
so?
No.
Fuck Panda Express.
Why? You think they
Why?
I don't like Panda
poison you?
Express. No, I just don't fuck with it.
Does it smell like
If I can-
communism?
Listen, I'd be cool with it if it was, but fucking,
I don't know.
fucking,
We like communism.
yeah. Next EP, Bomb Bunny for communism.
Breaking into communism, would you guys live in a communal space together and try to like do that whole live together as a band thing?
Dude, I fucking...
Is everybody a musician in this situation? Because I would live in a community full of musicians. That sounds like my dream.
Listen, I'm already a gardener. I can like grow us all the shit. We can like I'm all for lifting each other up and you know, taking back the means of production. Fucking.
We also all already kind of do that because all of our friend group kind of like lives like
we all practice.
We all kind of live in the same house.
Yeah.
It's like a huge house full of like 10 people.
Yeah.
I feel like creating a community of people who are, you know, everybody embraces each other's like faults and like good parts and stuff is like what we try and do by just having everybody around. And I mean, it's a far cry from like actually having communism implemented, because I don't think that ever happened.
I want to do a shout out on my band, on a band of mine growing up, Life Brother. I grew up like with these guys playing music and stuff, and you know, they went on and started doing their band called Life Brother, and they happened to just do like a closing show for a while, and they for the longest time, since like out of high school, they got like a really nice house together everywhere they went, and you know, worked on music, recorded and documented as much as possible before, you know, developing and going their own way. Like Steven, who's the guitarist in the band, just moved out to Texas, who's about to be traveling off to like Mexico and stuff, and he's also the collector of all the songs, but also like the band still lives on because, you know, traveling and stuff is like a matter of like the songs that were recorded and how the band, you know, moves forward. Do you guys ever see yourselves as like being in different parts of the world but still being like a band?
I hope not.
No.
I want to all stay together. We're very close. Like all like the three of us are like all of our like friends that we stick together. We've been together for a while now. Yeah. I wouldn't want to like be away from you guys.
It would be really hard.
They are still friends. They are all very tight and very close together. Not saying that we all are not still close together, but like, you know, sometimes
it'd just be harder.
It'd just be hard for us. That's all I'm saying. It's like we basically all kind of see each other every day.
Spontaneous.
Yeah.
Like
we're like a second family for us. I mean, I don't know.
They went like 6 years, 8 or 9 years living together in nice little house. But in my youth, there's this great memory. So this is what I was getting to. Great memory of going to the Life Brother Manor, and I just got there with like some beer, some like weed, and some LSD, and I was like, I'm gonna drop this right now, like 15 minutes before like I'm pulling up. And like I'm like having all my music gear and like, hey guys, I just took acid. I got all my music gear in the car, and I also have beer and weed. Will you help me get in? So, you know, they like help me get down to the stairs, help me get down to the basement, help me set up my whole table of music, and like they have, you know, their drums, their bass, their like whole like music table, their like mixer, the PA system, the whole house, so you could be loud as fuck at. And like I was just like, all right, it's gonna be a great time. I got everything to record, and then like we're smoking the weed, you know, doing a little prep thing, and like by the time the jam got there, we were all like, it was so high, and like, you know, they're already drinking. So we had chicken and stuff cooking up in the kitchen, just like, all right, like we'll get the vibe going. I don't know, just like one of those moments where you're like, all right, like it wasn't just like maybe like the intention of like the intention, like whenever I first called them, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get down there. I'm like, we're gonna record and practice. Sometimes like the intention of getting together didn't always like lead up to recording or getting like the good music out, but we had good times. You ever have any moments where you're like, we'll have practice, but then like practice doesn't exactly happen?
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, because we'll just start. We're all very like non-focused. We're all very like one little thing and like off track. Yeah, it exists within all of us.
So like we'll either plan it and then we'll get there and we'll like take a while to set up and we'll just be like, whatever.
Or you'll just turn every song into a swinging.
Or I just swing everything and frustrate the shit out of
the bass, and then I have to go along with it, and then everything becomes very jazzy, and it's like a nightmare, and you can't get out of it, and it like the ball keeps rolling over and over and over, and nothing ever stops.
By the time you guys sound like Portishead on acid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be sick.
But I totally can relate, because sometimes setting up practices and then like everybody finally getting together, it's like, all right, like it feels good, and like we don't really have to. I don't know, you lose that pressure sometimes, and then I don't know, there's always like great memories and just trying to get together and jam, and always worth a shout out on a great band. You have any good experiences working with any other artists you'd like to mention?
I mean, we
love good soup. We love Friends Strange Creatures. Yeah, we love the Friends Strange Creatures.
big fans.
Yeah, I really like. We played with Ghoul one time. They're real cool.
Ghoul was sick.
Chauncey's awesome.
Chauncey's cool.
Sick.
Black Shirt Ford. Yeah, Black Shirt Ford.
Fuck. Who else?
There's so many people.
Painted Dreams was really cool.
Oh my god,
oh, what about the show
Zanny
we played with? Zanny Stars. What about the show we played with fucking Power Violets and
we played with Zero Boys. Yeah, they were cool.
They were awesome.
Yeah, they were really cool.
Oh, I think we're forgetting someone. We're always forgetting people. Who is it? We're figuring.
Oh, Friday morning. We're playing a show with them in February, and they're so sweet to us. And like, we haven't even met them yet, but like, they're just so like they're so encouraging and cool. And like,
Earth. They are.
They're cool too. Yeah, everybody we played with has been awesome.
They have
and
all been like the best people ever.
Yeah, it's a really supportive community of people, like in Cincy and Columbus and Dayton.
Yeah.
Like they're all very like
I love the
connected
Cincy area.
Cool.
Cincy, that's where my friends now live. Besides like the ones that have like moved away, like my friends from high school, I still like jam with and get together with. They still live out in the Cincy, and like they have like their whole little thriving scene. There's like big stuff in the MOTR. They're like out in the north side too, so they get like the north side pubs and that kind of vibe. And like it seems like whenever there's shows out there, people in that Cincinnati area will still come out to a show, even if they haven't heard the artists. There's only a few.
You're cool.
Yeah, there's only a few like places like that in Dayton where you're like, okay, like you don't necessarily have to know the artist, but like you'll still show up to the show because it's like worth it, and it's also going to be a good time, good music. Just because of the reputation too.
I think that the scene kind of needs to be built more in Dayton currently. I think it was like it's kind of at it's not dead, but it's like beginning.
I mean, Omega tries, but other than that, the Oregon district just kind of shits on indie bands and like weirder stuff.
I mean, Blind Bobs does like a bunch of shows, but like cover bands.
They're also not advertised enough.
Yeah, not advertised unless like the band spends money advertising it like on the radio or something, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because that price range is ridiculous if you haven't looked into it. Shout out on WYSO giving you in the rotation. I want to bring up I messaged them whenever we put out the Crypto Terrestrial tour on Floor Jazz, and they were like, yeah, like we'll support it, we'll put that on rotation. Bring up a little bit how Don Thrasher got you guys out there.
Oh, yeah, well, I think originally it was this guy Evan, who usually does it. He put it on there. Yeah, he's really cool. And then I don't know about how Don got us on there, but I think he's just like maybe covering for Evan.
If you haven't heard, man, like that's some of the coolest stuff. I'm like, bro, you guys stepped in with Brainiac and he's still chilling in the Dayton and doing radio stuff. That's very
Right.
rad. And also got to listen to Bomb Bunny coming out of Blind Rage and gives a shout out, which is, just phenomenal for the Dayton scene as far as like weird indie young kids coming out.
Yeah, I mean Dayton has had a lot of cool stuff come out. Like Dayton is a very like influential place. It's just like the problem right now is just there's like not a lot of places to play. It's kind of like obviously it's smaller here, and not a lot of people know what's going on here. And like we get a lot of questions like, "What's the scene like over there?" We always
we'll go to like Cincy and Columbus, and like we'll say we're from Dayton. They're like, "You're from where?" And it's like you'll be like, "Oh, you drove all the way from here." And it's like they don't give it enough credit.
That's true.
Like,
my friends from Cincy, every time I'm like, yeah, I got to show out in the day and area, they're like, oh, yeah, come out to Cincy or Columbus and we'll talk. Unless, like, it's your birthday or something.
Yeah. People don't understand that aren't from Dayton that, like, the reason we drive to Cincy and Columbus is because we grew up here, and our whole lives we've been driving to different places to go see bigger things.
I grew up in Chillicothe, and, like, we grew up going to Dayton, Columbus, or Cincy. They were all an hour or 2 hours away, so it was just like, all right.
You got to travel to see something bigger.
Yeah, you had to always travel to see like a random band that comes through, or like a bigger act finally hit you, like something that you're interested in, if it's like in your price range and that kind of stuff. And it's always interesting because like I can even like recall like my younger friends once I moved to Dayton for like the first time before like I started moving and traveling. Whenever I was like, yeah, I'm playing music in Dayton, they were like, oh man, like you want to come down to Chillicothe and like pick me up and like take me there to your show and like all the way back home or something.
Right.
like, bro, I totally would, like every single time, but like, damn, like, you want to take the drive out to Dayton? It's kind of like they look at it as like the ghetto Dayton or something, which is hysterical because back in in the prime time, I guess it was one of the funky, thriving areas, just like Portsmouth, Ohio, who was like the first like capital, and like had so much people.
My dad played in a bunch of bands in the 90s, and he always talks about the scene in the 90s was like big here. And Cincy and Dayton were connected.
So many clubs.
Yeah. And I don't know what happened. I literally don't understand what happened.
And skateboarding was insane in Dayton too at the time.
Yeah.
Like there was just so much happening at Dayton in the 90s and 80s.
I think we're coming out of like a period where like that was big, and then there was like a dry period where there was nothing, and then now it's starting up again, but we're at the very beginning of it. Like the very.
It had to take to COVID to shook up some people, maybe. And it's even funny that since COVID shook up some people, the like places that you would think would be more open and like accepting to the communities even would be more so.
Right.
It is really great that like Jimmy's Ladder is one of the great ones I want to shout out. They're always open to acts coming through, and they're very open to like LGBTQ community plus, which is like always really great because it's always like interesting whenever you have your crew come through and maybe it not fit for like the audience of like the typical people just sitting in that are like country fucks, like not trying to give it a time of day or something. I don't know.
Yeah, like the contrast of having like a big group of people at a bar to like a DIY venue is you see a good amount more of like just like a big like group of. It's just like a safer place for like LGBTQ people, I think, in general. Definitely. When it's like a DIY venue, as opposed to like if you're going to Bob's, like people are already getting heckled by like fucking old
I feel like people at Bob's literally just like sit down though. Like I don't like.
Yeah, I don't get the whole vibe either, because even whenever I've seen like really cool bands come through, like Screaming Females came through, and they've still only had like few people like standing up and like moving around, and like it just kind of blew my mind. I'm like, wow, these fucking people are great and big, and Dayton sucks.
Yeah, I want for when we play shows, I love when people are dancing and moshing and like having a good time, and like I don't know, the energy from like other people, like when you're at a party or you're at a DIY show, the energy is like unmatched in Cincy and Columbus, like at these shows. Like it's just people are great, like they just like want to dance, and it feels so good to play for people who want to participate and be involved.
Yeah.
I want to bring up a big question. Music influences again for everybody, but also like the music that you grew up listening to.
Mm.
There you go.
I grew up listening to Jeff Buckley a lot. I love him. I grew up listening. I mean, really everything that I'm like inspired by now, like Cocteau Twins, Flint, like I don't know, all like my mom and dad were really influential for me. They both have really great music taste. I think like I feel like that's the same for you, right?
I mean, yeah, my mom she would always like put Talking Heads on in the car.
Yeah, Talking Heads, same.
And my mom would also listen to like a lot of local music all the time. And
yeah, Brainiac was a big one with my parents.
Yeah, the Breeders. Like driving on 9. I just remember like singing to that as a kid. Like, yeah.
I feel like my parents were always like a little bit more like mainstream with it, like, but my dad usually did introduce a lot more of like, I don't know, it was a big like Gorillaz, Beatles kid, and then like kind of got more into like, I don't know, like Soundgarden, Pearl Jam and stuff into like 8th grade and stuff, and then just kind of got into a big grunge phase for sure.
My mom loved Big Star. I listened to Big Star a lot growing up.
Yeah.
But a lot of like really, I don't know, like a lot of 90s stuff, a lot of but I think but especially like, even like my parents, like they weren't as into the 90s stuff as I am. Like
that's true.
I think like when like all of us as teenagers, like we all really got into like all this like dream pop from the 90s and like shoegaze.
Oh, yeah.
Shoegaze is
I
for
feel like
me
that's
really
a big like the kind of like untapped thing by like a good one
like
of our parents.
Sonic Youth. Sonic Youth is like very up there.
Is the band.
Have you guys ever been out to Seattle?
No.
I've been out to
I've always wanted to.
Vancouver.
I have family that lives there, but
I definitely recommend the visit. I lived out in Seattle for a little bit, and the scene out there, very prominent, very open to giving acts a try at even bigger venues that, you know, like artists that we love and respect been to, which is something like I find so interesting. It's like you can live in the city that, you know, gets really nice acts, and like if you live there in your own band, they'll give you the time of day, which is just like opening up that door, especially for like, you know, the bands like us, and like in the local scene trying to venture out and travel. It's always one of the spots you have to hit because of like the essential scene that comes out to listen to your music and the actual engagement and people that you meet. It will always blow your mind. That's just some like of my own experience. Even like I can recall like the facts, like people like me, we would just go out to the bar and the bar would have bands play, and you still have to pay your $20 to go inside that bar because the band is playing, and you totally will, and you will sit down and order your drinks that are, you know, whatever, and you'll be hearing that music, and if you like it or not, you paid for the show, so that you're kind of helping the artist too. And it's something that like is very important because there's shows out here in like the Midwest where you're not always like paying to get into just to like the event, like contribute to the artist and just like also just hang out at the bar and get a drink.
Right. Yeah.
There's plenty of areas that I've been to that I feel like have that kind of vibe and essentialism, but there's nothing more real than what the Seattle art music scene gives to the community back, especially when it comes to people just showing up for your shows. It just blows my mind. A really good friend of mine, we have like a wild history with, but you know, still stayed out there in Seattle that I lived with, and has a band working with this other artist, which is kind of really different because like his style was like Nirvana style driven. Did you guys ever, whenever you were making music, ever feel like, oh, it belongs in this place or this scene or this area?
Not really. I feel
Dayton
like it's
scene,
very,
huh?
it's very Dayton. I feel like our music still kind of gives Dayton. I mean, Dayton.
We're always gonna love to say we're
Well, we're proud to be from Dayton. Like, we love Dayton.
I mean,
we love Dayton music.
That's Brainiac had literally like a shirt that they sold their first tour that they did that said "Fuck y'all, we're from Dayton," and it was fucking like it's sick.
It's
just
so
like
true though. Like, people shit on Dayton all the time, but it's like some of the coolest shit came out of here. You know?
Yeah.
Like I know right now it's a little, but like
old, but,
it can be something. People just have to show up to the gigs. They have to be there. They have to get out. Like, kids that are our age need to start coming to more shows. Like, a lot of people I know just won't come to shows. Like, when you go to Cynthia or Columbus, all those kids want to go to shows.
Whenever you're in your mid-20s and you're going to shows, you still feel that anxiety, awkwardness of like, is it my scene? Is it my vibe? Will I have a good time? Should I just stay home and check it out online?
Sure.
You know, you run through, I feel like
always show up.
I feel like that's natural to feel. As long as you're
everybody
bringing
at all ages, though. I mean, I can recall even being like 14, going to like my friends' shows at the bars where they're like, "Oh, you can totally open for us," and I'm like, "Oh, it's my opportunity," but also I want to bring up like this artist Chloe, who worked with Ariel Pink. I'm a big fan of. You know, they have a song together where they recorded in the studio for their band, The Dark Side of Ariel Pink, and they had this song, Chupacabra, kind of talks about like being chicken and don't chicken out to the gig, because they incorporated all these other artists that they were like, are you going to be scared to show up like to the studio and do this just because of like, oh no, just being scared or whatever. And it really kind of showed me that there's artists out there that are willing to like it is always a risk, even if like it sounds good and cool and like like you can do it, there's still like somewhat of like a inside risk. Whenever you talk about like artists, is there a certain artist where you're like, I really respect because of like what they've done for you personally?
For us personally?
I mean, I feel like honestly, like, Noah from Different Strange Creatures has helped us out a lot, just like being in Columbus, because he invited us to play at their house, and from that we met a lot of people that allowed us to get another show there, and then that happened again.
It's kind of a chain reaction of like a lot of
invited them to
Columbus people have been really
same
helpful.
with like Colin and Cincy, like Colin from Black Surf Wars, and I think he's also in a band called the Tangies. He's helped us like get a show at the Pit, and through that we were able to get like more Cincy shows just from meeting other bands. Like, it's just like one person gets you.
One of the coolest spots out there in Cincy for listeners who do not know about the Pit. And it's primal for people that are into skateboarding at any time to check out the Pit.
Yeah. That was one of the coolest venues that we've played at.
I
just because,
love playing there.
Talking about cool DIY venues, like that is just kind of amazing to think about, having like all of that action going on there, like the building, the atmosphere. It felt like a crypt, but it felt like it had this energy to it that was like so vibrant and like so cool.
People skateboarding while we were playing. Like,
yeah, exactly.
It was a great environment, and everybody seemed like even like after we got done playing, we were watching like Chauncey. Oh my god, Chauncey, the crowd for Chauncey was fucking awesome. Like, everybody was just like moshing and having a great time. There's a huge crowd.
They threw a mannequin in
that was Chauncey. The mannequin was Chauncey. I think that was was that the time
that
he
killed
Chauncey? Yeah, I think he killed him.
Oh, he didn't die the night.
He didn't die.
I got it wrong.
But, yeah,
it was cool. It literally takes one person to get you in a scene. Like it takes one person to like take a chance on your band and just be like, hey, come out here and play with us, and then like more people meet you, and you just keep meeting more bands. And it's like so cool, the network of bands.
We had no idea
just, like,
who Friday Morning was until like they reached out. They reached out to us, or
they reached out to us, and I was able to like look at their page and stuff, and they've got like a lot of cool stuff going on, and I don't know, they just like they liked us, and I liked them, and that's how we booked the show at the Comet. We're playing. I think it's what's the date? February 10th. February 10th. We're playing in Cleveland February 3rd with Zanny Stars.
Yeah, they're very cool. They're a very good band. I want to bring up a really essential question. I think this one is kind of one of those funny ones. Daily routine.
Daily routine, just like in general.
I
don't know. I
don't fluctuates for me.
I feel like
smoke a bowl in the morning, coffee in the morning.
we like two of us work at coffee shops, and like I feel like our schedules either vary from a really early morning shift to like I work closes a lot. So like
I don't know, eat my breakfast of cold brew and medication, and
yeah,
just
that's your breakfast.
yeah.
Have a Chobani yogurt and a cigarette and go to work, and I don't know, pretty just kind of get really. I don't know. I sleep in a lot depending on like when I'm working.
Yeah, you
a lot
sleep till
of
like 2.
yeah, fucking.
I do the same though.
I just I'm so much more of a night person anyway. So like
I'm more active at night.
so like kind of just that, and then whenever I get home, making a dinner or something. Yeah,
Carrie, you do yours because that's Isaac.
See, I fluctuate. If there's a day that I'm working, I will get up, get ready. I will go to my favorite coffee shop in the entire world, Crest Coffee Bar. Gotta love them. They're awesome. I'm friends with a lot of people.
know like all the baristas there.
Yeah, I'm friends with all the baristas there. I will talk to them and get my coffee there, and then I will go into Blind Rage and I'll open up the store. I'll bring some records in that I really want to listen to that day. I'll pick my records, my playlist for that day at my house. And sometimes I'll pick from the store too, but I like to bring my own. And just talk to people about music all day and draw is really great. And at night I'm usually with my friends or my boyfriend.
Yeah, we're with our friends a lot at night. Like we always around like 8 o'clock or so, everybody comes over to Charlie and Isaac's house, and we all just hang out and do whatever.
Yeah.
Smoke or go outside, and I don't know. We sit on the porch a lot and
Watch movies.
Yeah. Kind of just do whatever.
Not anything really.
It's not really that planned. We just
All right. Favorite type of weed? Sativa, indica, hybrids, shoutouts.
Probably indica.
Yeah, me too. I get paranoid high sometimes. And then,
yeah,
like,
me too. I get real paranoid.
I went to Canada for like 2 months, and they had it legalized where I was at.
I love Canada.
I got spoiled up there. They had like the nice like legal edibles and like really good indica, and now it's just kind of like I mean, it's not legal here yet, but it will be. But like
we're all very anxious people, so most likely indica.
Yeah, so usually indica.
I don't really like
where out in Canada were you?
I was on Vancouver Island.
Vancouver Island. All right.
I had an internship at a wildlife hospital for a while.
Did you get to go out to Vancouver City or no, not Vancouver City since you're in Vancouver Island? Did you get to go out to any parts of like the Strip?
I got to go down to Victoria, the capital.
Okay. So you did get to leave. You did get to leave.
I mean, I didn't have a car, so like it was a little hard, but I had a lot of volunteers there. I was in a rural part, but honestly, the nature there is like outstanding. Yeah. Fran said I was taking care of eagles. I was holding eagles, and
they were like a bird rescuer.
Well, yeah, we would go out on like people would call in like a bird, and we would like go out with a van and go out and like rescue it and pick it up.
It's funny because I've been out to Canada and like people were talking so much about like Alaska, like you must go to Alaska. Whenever I went out to Alaska, a lot of people were talking about how you should check out Canada. And I'm just kind of like, whoa, that's kind of funny that like some of the people that I've seen from Canada were interested in Alaska, and Alaska was like, yeah, we've been up there and we might prefer that better.
The Pacific Northwest is like just a truly beautiful place, and I feel like the nature there and like everything there just feels so sacred almost. Like it's just like from the nature just to like everything up there. Just like the temperate rainforests are insane. Fucking cool. Just fucking cool place.
I want to bring up one of those interesting things. You guys talk about movies. Have you seen any cool movies lately? Any recent ones?
What's that movie we watched?
Barbarian.
Barbarian.
Barbarian. That movie
Oh, yeah.
had me scared, shaking, grabbing on. I was fucked up from that one.
That one was good.
So
I never get like horror movies don't usually like make me like grip the couch, but like I was
No,
like,
you were like, I was expecting you to fall asleep because you fall asleep to everything we watch. And,
Yeah,
like,
this one was good.
yeah, I mean, like movie wise, I don't know. I don't watch as many movies. I'm usually just like I'll find like an anime or something that I like and just kind of watch that for a bit. But I don't know what else. Have we seen anything else good? Oh,
I watched The Punk Singer the other day. Me and Kira watched The Punk Singer, which is basically just all about Kathleen Hanna and the Riot Girl.
It's a really solid doc.
What'd you say?
So it's a really solid doc.
yeah, it is. Transmissions After Zero, the Brainiac documentary. I watched that.
Yeah, that's good.
I recently watched the new David Bowie one. Have you gave that a spin yet?
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah.
The Moon Age Daydream will definitely rock your cages. I was like balls of the wall interested. They really show you a different side and perspective of David Bowie. Definitely like a more human side, even though they show like real performances and like, you know, like the music abilities and stuff. Like they really did a great job with that one. That was something I've seen recently. I definitely would recommend. Besides like the new Flaming Lips movie documentary about the Bubble tour. I recently loved this movie, American Dinner, Dinner in America, and it's based off of like a rock band, punk rock band, and like a weird kind of like love story guy that's like in like a breaks out of like a psychotic hospital and like is just like raging terror and is like also like in a band and like also like nomadic living style, even though like his family is like well off, it seems. It was one of those ones where you did not know what to expect, and the creativity and the originality, the dialogue was so bizarre. You're like, what the fuck happened to make this movie? But I'm interested. I'm sold.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, Dinner in America. I highly recommend that.
I watched over the holidays, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yes.
I feel like it's pretty popular. A lot of people have probably seen that.
It's deep.
Fucking amazing movie.
What's that?
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I don't know those.
It's about a lot of stuff. It's about like generational trauma and like being immigrants in like in America, but also like it's through the lens of like this like multi-dimensional like
the system, the man, a little bit of doses of all like sides of the fence too. The kind of
it's all real cool.
Yeah, they give it to you in like a fresh new take, especially like in today's politics after the pandemic. I feel that kind of, I guess, hits home in a lot of the emotional scenes. I don't want to give too much away. I want to bring up, besides your record, any new albums of like this, I guess not 2023 since it's so fresh, any new albums recently that you would want to shout out?
Laos's EP.
Oh yeah, Laos is real good.
Laos is amazing. Post-punk from Cincinnati. I'm friends with Danny, the bassist. But they're so cool, and their EP is amazing.
What's that one song that I really like?
I don't remember.
It's just, I don't know.
Oh, give me a pause.
It gives me this
so
like the brain feeling that I get, like it's like just very specific. I cannot describe it, but I just get a brain feeling when certain songs play.
The song is called "Give Me a Pause."
Yeah, Give Me a Pause. That song.
Yeah, I would totally spin it.
So good.
I can't think of a like newly released albums.
I'm trying to think.
Noah released a song called "Doll Eyes," but it's like being really weird on Spotify right now. Be Found Strange Creatures.
What else?
I can't think of I listen to a lot of older stuff. That's kind of what I listen to. I listen to a lot of 90s stuff. I can't think of things.
Nothing wrong with that.
Dive?
I really love Knife Play, but I don't think they've released anything.
But they're like a more newer shoegaze band.
Dry Cleaning released a new album this year that was pretty good.
Knife Play did release something this year actually.
Well, I love Knife Play. I love Dive. Dive always has Dive is one of my biggest influences, and they always have some Everything they release, I love.
They released was it a live? Or...
Yeah, Dive released like a live version of their like first album, which is really cool. Because I love them. I've loved them since I was like in 6th grade. So.
Yeah, I saw the band. Definitely worth the shout out. And that record is really solid. No lie. I guess a few things before we wrap stuff up on Vibe Osmosis tonight. Thank you guys for taking the time out. I know it's a weird time frame and everything. Definitely.
Thank you for working with us on it. We appreciate it.
No, definitely. I was really, really interested in the. I'm gonna pull it up for reference. I don't think that you guys did anything in particular with it. Yes, okay. I can see through your sleepy eyes, but I want to see it through. I was really intrigued by this line in that last song. One of the, obviously going to the last track of the album, I think is one of the most important parts for listening to the whole album. I'm one of those persons that whenever I listen to a band, I give it a spin all the way through, never stop it. This is one of those ones, I feel like lyrically wise, it spoke to me, especially about shadows and having, I think, a metaphor. I was wondering if there was a bigger metaphor behind the lyric, or if the lyrics are supposed to be kind of less interpretive and more like derogative and straight towards you.
I will tell you that my lyrics, a lot of times, they are more like straightforward than you would think, but also like a lot of times, like I sing certain things to get a vocal sound out of it. Like the way that it makes like my voice sound, if that makes sense.
Definitely.
Like a certain word differently with my voice. But that lyric is kind of straightforward.
I was really intrigued because this last track, out of all the other ones, the lyrics have its own tone and direction. That like I feel like is one of the standout tracks for me. Not just because it's at the end, but some of the statements. And I don't know, it's one of those melodies that I feel like also stick with me. And recording that in the studio, I wondered what was that process like? Did you guys kind of run through it so many times where it became that, or how that track came to be?
I think that was our most like laid back track to record, honestly. Like that took us like 2 takes.
I mean, I wrote it like 2 days before we started recording on my computer. I made like a demo of it, and it sounded different. It sounded more like I wanted it to sound like creepier and more like in the distance than it was. But when we actually recorded, like I really wanted it to sound like very eerie. But when we recorded it, we like sat down instead of like standing. The eerie vibe.
Yes.
That's what I was going for. I really wanted like the voices to sit like when I sing to sound like ghostly. Like what a lot of my like vocal stuff I try to do to make it sound kind of eerie and like weird. I want it to sound like off a little bit. But when we recorded it, we kind of sat down and we recorded it live like for the thing, and then I just went back in and did a bunch of different like vocal stuff and another guitar part over it.
Whenever I record personally, I like to majority like have the guitar on and also the vocals live, so it's like getting that live feel of like me actually playing and singing. Is that something that you feel comfortable with, or do you like the separation? I love doing like layering everything up and then finally getting to the vocals too. But like I've wondered if like getting that separation was like comfortable.
The separation for me is more comfortable just because I like to really be able to focus on the things that I do with my voice when I do vocals. Like I have a very specific thing I do in my head to get where I want it to be. And like obviously like when I sing and play guitar, like there's an element of like live to it, but I don't know. But like my vocals, I try to treat them like sort of like a separate instrument in a way. Yeah. Like I want them to sound like not real, like almost like kind of like a guitar instead of like a person.
To Isaac, it does answer the question. To Isaac, I wondered, whenever you get the track, are you mostly recording the bass and your pedals and stuff just to a drum track, or do you actually hear guitar as well and vocals?
Wait, rephrase that again. What do you mean?
Whenever you're recording the bass, do you get to hear just the drums, or are you getting everything?
Oh, we're doing bass, drums, and guitar together.
Bass, drums, and guitar together. Okay.
And
We do that goes for every track that you guys do too. It's never like we'll get the drums first and then we'll layer it up.
For the EP, no, we did it all.
It was all live.
It was all live, and then
vocals.
The vocals and the guitar were tracked over it. Like, but there's like what I mean by the guitar. Parts, there's second guitar parts that I do that I put over after the first main guitar that was already like tracked.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Having the second guitar, having the lead, I guess the rhythm, and then like a little lead add-ons really make a difference in recording. And also, I feel like the songs and the artists that go for just like the really stripped down, where it's just like the rhythm, lead, and one guitarist and the drums and the bass, it does work really well for some of those bands. I want to say like Discharge, Aggression, they kind of incorporate that, and also like they also do the add-ons and another great artist, of course, I mentioned Kurt Cobain, who was like, okay, I can separate my parts and still be the main person, and then make it really interesting. Whenever they had the other guitars like pass me, or just be like, yeah, I can totally do the lead, and you also incorporate what you do. There's some things I feel like in this band, in this project, where there's kind of like, I kind of like leading this part on for you to take on and like develop. And I kind of wondered like if you're having to do it track by track and like make the track more interesting, or if it is just kind of progressively happening all in one, like, one go, one room. The Doors. Like the Doors, for instance.
Like writing, you mean?
Yeah. Like the Doors, like I remember they called like being in completely not in the same room for recording one whole album, which just blows my mind.
Yeah, that is weird. We were in the same room. It was like Jay's little like he has like a little space. It's just like wooden floors and books, like a bookcase and just a drum kit.
Yeah, I feel like a part of our playing that's really important is we all have to be able to like look at each other.
We like to like communicate through our eyes.
A lot of eye contact, a lot of like it like
headshakes and
just connection, like all together helps like just in general, like rhythmically, just sound wise.
Me and Isaac are kind of used to that from orchestra. We played in like a really small ensemble in high school. I played violin and Isaac played stand-up bass, and we would always like look at each other in this small ensemble when we would start and go, and I think we could carry that into this band.
I was first and second chair throughout my years on the trombone later on, but it came to. And I can totally recall some of those moments of like having to look over to your friend across the chairway, just like we tuned up right, we doing this right. Like I'll take your lead on this one then, especially because like for me I was playing those bass notes and like are really aiming off of like if those treble clefs were happening, and like I feel like always having that friend that like is tuned in well, knows how to read the music too, really does help. Do you guys, whenever you write, do you like write out like, oh, like I'm going to be playing like the E string for 8 bars or like 8 strums and switching to this, or is it kind of more like I got this part and you fill in with this part?
We use bars as like, we kind of like describe things in bars sometimes, kind of like 8 bars and then we switch to this part or do that, and kind of like a lot of it is really disorganized, I feel like, but like we do have our own way to like structure it in our brain.
We do it in a very like mixed up like weird way, but it makes sense to us. It's not technically right, I don't think.
I think they're
we can go along with music theory, but
I feel like traditional music theory is like intro, outro, chorus, verse, chorus, outro, and then you have like your fillers and stuff, and like, which is, it does really, like, I feel like in your music, those progressions are happening more organically, and especially hearing from you, it seems like that's kind of the case. I feel like one other little funny question on my thing. The funniest thing like you guys ever done like while getting high, smoking weed? Any weird story?
I'm trying to think.
I mean, I when I went to Canada, I would take edibles and go on hikes, but that was like not. It was really. I don't know if I have a lot of funny stories. I just kind of usually.
I was always just extremely paranoid. Like even when we were younger, like Isaac would be like,
Well, I
red eyes, like sitting there.
I know my eyes get so fucking red. I would
like
just,
it's okay.
It would just be like I grew up in a household where it was super demonized, and then like just kind of seeped in through the rest of my like I don't know, just experiences as an adult, and it's better now, I'd say, but like it still gets flares up every now and again. But I don't know. Did we ever?
I think they're more funny when they're drunk than when they're high.
Oh yeah, I'm a funny drunk.
Oh, there's plenty of those bad sloppy stories. I'll bring up one for the Vibe Osmosis. Good old friend Jaden, who was very very drunk on like prom night or something, and we were like up at this girl's cabin, and like we were about to go home, and like he gets out of the cabin, and like there's like another house like right next door. He happens to like walk over to the next door, tries to open up the door, and like the door doesn't open, so he goes over to the car and like opens up like the car door, and the car door opens and he gets inside it, and he's like looking around, and there's like a bag of McDonald's that I guess was old, and he starts like going through the bag of McDonald's. There's like a McChicken there. He eats the McChicken, and like he's conscious enough to like know that he needs food, and like eats the McChicken, and like locks the door, and we're trying to get him out of the car, and then finally get him out of the car from like the back seat, and then like once we do, the old woman that lived across the street, she got up in the morning and she like locked her car door like the moment we got him out of the car, which is hilarious. She didn't call the cops. We're usually like, I'm gonna just like lock my door again. Yeah, like see that these kids are trying to get this guy into like my fucking Jeep and get out of here. It was one of those very funny, sloppy, drunk moments for my good friend Jaden.
Yeah.
It's like, what happened? What were you thinking, man? Thank you guys for joining Vibe Osmosis. It's been a pleasure. And also, any last things you want to shout out before we close the night?
I think we're good.
Let's shout out all the trolls in the universe.
Yeah.
Shout out
and every person that we've ever played with.
Always
Thank you.
Shithead.
You guys are great.
And also Gwen for releasing our EP.
Yeah, Gwen definitely is awesome, and big thanks on Gwen for helping out and supporting.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Always very, very awesome and low key, like the best person that works at Blind Rage.
Yeah.
Shout out, no offense, I guess.
I don't work there anymore, so.
Oh, okay, alright. Well, I guess we're all in good faith there. Also, would you guys happen to be interested? I mean, I guess I don't really have like anything lined up, but doing one of the DIY shows out here in the Dayton scene with the Spirit Navigator.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Right,
We're always
down.
Same here. I know that me and Fred have kind of talked about doing some more shows and kind of getting back out there this year. Did you have any shows that you want to shout out? Hey, come out to the show.
Yeah, we've got one on February 3rd in Cleveland, which,
If you're in Cleveland,
if you're in Cleveland, come on over.
Cincy the 10th.
Yeah, comment.
The 25th at Blind Rage with Cellar Dweller, Trash, and Henry Morris.
Yep.
Ooh.
So those are the three coming up. We might have more that we're planning. We don't know yet, though. Those are the three official ones.
Yeah.
All right.
Show
So
up.
now that I have you, Everybody has to name one song you like to share on Vibe Osmosis.
Oh, just in general? Oh, fuck. I
got one. Pancake Cleaner, The Swirlies.
Title Breaker by Polvo.
Fuck. I'm thinking.
Just this one.
Lizard Kids by No Joy.
All right. Thank you for joining Vibe Osmosis tonight, and you have a good rest of your night. Thank you for sharing the song selections. I'll be sharing this episode on the following Monday. Tomorrow, we have Rat Lips, which is, going to be on news. So, it's going to be a really great pleasure talking to oh yeah, I want to bring up have any guests that you would like recommend on joining Vibe Osmosis that would be interested?
Different Strange Creatures.
Trash Heart.
Trash Heart.
Dude, Trash Heart.
Trash Heart is so cool.
They're funny.
They're so
Talk
funny.
to them.
They
I will
probably love-
give them a shout out.
They came in a blind rage. They were cool. Talk to them. You should contact them.
Also, how long does everybody vinyl collectors, everybody like vinyl listeners?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite vinyl of all time?
Oh.
Ooh, I just got do you know Midair Thief?
Midair Thief. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I got Crumbling on vinyl.
Crumbling.
A while ago. It's not like original pressing or anything, but that was cool get.
Mine is Bulldozer, Big Black.
Yeah. They're very solid.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
You work there.
Look at Hole.
Yeah,
I like.
they're pretty cool.
But it's not my
They're
favorite record.
I think Courtney did it.
Do you?
Without a doubt.
It's
If
not
not, it was a cover up. Like somebody, like Courtney's friend or something did it then.
Probably.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows, indeed. I've been
Personally,
inside.
I don't think
I've been inside Kurt's house, and I went
so
up.
crazy.
I ran up inside Kurt's house whenever I was there, and I felt whenever I was in there the actual energy. I guess like they moved out everything, but they've like no one's like officially lived there, and like what is there is like Kurt if for sure.
Hmm.
Do you believe that your energy or your spirit could stay in the same place after you die?
Yes. 100%.
I'm in the middle, but I can see our spirits having energy and going somewhere and reincarnating after we die. I'm into that.
Kind of both, because like if you, I don't know, like there's like, yeah, I don't.
Reincarnation, dude.
There's reincarnation, but there's also like
Energy.
there's also energy, like those that are stay and they're there. But
I just think that there's energy everywhere.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for joining Vibe Osmosis. Thank you, everyone. And truly, I'll be keeping you posted on the details and keep me posted on any links and stuff you'd like to share for the track. And you have a good rest of your night.
all right, thank you
Thanks,
so
have a
much.
good one.
Thanks. Bye.
See ya.